Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Ram Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Ram Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, assembled devotees की जय. Thank you everyone for joining and chatting so beautifully. May I know who all joined this morning?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Mataji, your voice is muted. Yeah, we couldn't hear your voice.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Sorry Prabhu, I think microphone had an issue. Yeah, thank you Neetu Mataji for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna, is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, glories to Sri Guru and Gaurang and all the assembled devotees, especially joining from Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shashidhar Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Balavrinda.
Hare Krishna Balavrinda, welcome to the call. Thank you for joining in. No Mataji, I can't hear you. I think microphone issue yours also. Hare Krishna Kitida Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining and giving us with association. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada, this is Preeti Vilasni Devidasi from Atlanta. Thank you Mataji.
Hare Krishna Preeti Vilasni Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much Mataji for joining and giving us with association and all glories to your services. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves before we start the call? We have a couple more minutes to go.
Mataji, can you hear me now?
Yes, Mataji, now we can hear you.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. I don't know today, even my microphone had an issue.
Today is the day of microphone issue.
Yes, Mataji.
Even mine was not working. I introduced initially and nobody could hear.
I had to change the source of the microphone.
Yeah, same thing here.
And I just log in back.
Mataji, sometimes when you log in back also, it will not work. You have to change the source, then only it will work. We will wait another 3 minutes because nobody should miss the class. We have another 3 more minutes to go. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Before we start the call, as usual, like every day, we read Srila Prabhupada quote. Today's Srila Prabhupada quote, November 22. We are neither renouncer or enjoyer. We are simply a servitor of Krishna. Please follow this principle and you will be never disturbed in any frightened condition offered by the Maya. Letter to Gargamuni, November 22, 1968. Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Ramgiridhari Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Caitanya Bhagavat. Prabhuji, I don't see you on. Yeah. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your valuable time and association. Please take over the call. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for having me in the Sangha, and it's always exciting to be with you all. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Sri Caitanya Bhagavata Adi Khanda, chapter 14, text number 38 through 41. Ekeshwara Lakshmi Devi Karena Randanam Tatapiyo Paramananda Yuktamanam Lakshmi Racharitra Deki Sachi Bhagyavati Dhande Dhande Ananda Viseshe Bhareyati. Lakshmi Devi cooked alone, yet she felt supremely blissful. As the fortunate mother Sachi observed the character of Lakshmi, her joy increased every hour of the day. Ushakala haite Lakshmiyata griha karma apane karena sabha yei tandra dharma. Beginning from sunrise, Lakshmi would personally perform all the household chores as her religious duty. Devagrihe karena ye swastika mandali shankachakra likhena hayya kutuhali. She would decorate the floor of the temple with drawings of swastikas, conches, and discs. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayam Chakshurun Militam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Namaham Vishnu Padayam Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, the context that we are in is where Lakshmi Priya, the divine consort of Gaura Sundara, she is very nicely setting up a example, a situation of how a grahastha should look after his or her responsibilities. So whoever is in the grahastha ashram, they have some additional and a special unique responsibility of Atiti's seva. Neither brahmachari, nor a vanaprasthi, nor a sannyasi have this requirement of looking after atithis, guests, and they don't have any social obligation. The only social responsibility, the only ashram where social responsibility is predominant is the ashram of a married person. And here, the Lord has gone to Bangladesh to earn money through teaching. And Lakshmi Priya Mata is staying with Mother Sachi. And whilst the Lord was in Navadvipa, he used to call all the poor people, give support, help them, and invite a lot of guests, and whoever visits their house, used to look after them very nicely. So it's a very important Vaishnava culture that the Lord and his wife demonstrated. So the set of verses that we are discussing today explains about the wonderful quality of Mother Lakshmi Priya and how she performed her services and satisfied, pleased her family. Within this small context, we can churn out some interesting lessons for our own growth in Krishna consciousness. As always, we will learn this current context through some sets of reflections. The topic of chastity is a very deep, sensitive, as well as very thought-provoking topic. I really wish and would encourage a forum where such a topic should be discussed, churned, even if required, debated, because day by day, the word chastity in its usage is going away. Even if it is there, it is explained as honesty, time-bound honesty, and various interpretations have come. Even amongst devotee circle, the interpretation of what chastity for a person has got different interpretation. So I will not go to that topic in detail, but I want to say few points in connection with this current context of how Lakshmi Priya Devi, she performed the role of a very good wife, very good daughter-in-law, a very good host, a very good human being. In Krishna consciousness, it is just not some philosophical understanding that matters. If philosophical understanding is the basis of our going back home, back to Godhead, I'm sure all of those who have done Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, or any kind of courses would immediately be eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. Philosophical understanding, Siddhanta, is definitely the base and the foundation. But the application of Siddhanta in our life, if it is not correct, if we are not even applying what we have studied, or if we are partially applying and partially disagreeing, all these three situations are not a very good situation. So hence, Krishna conscious lifestyle is something that we all are supposed to endure. My education, my surrender, my appreciation of Krishna consciousness is reflected not in how much I know the philosophy correctly. It depends upon how much I have applied them in my life. As a part of the first reflection, I would like to talk about 2 points. One is the lifestyle of being a devotee, and in that, what chastity, how much chastity play a role. Because the context here is about a lifestyle. And one portion of the lifestyle, you are all going to talk about more in the next set of verses also. It is very important to know, even for the most basic aspect of our devotional life, which is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we need to have a lifestyle. If we do not have a proper lifestyle, even the most basic aspect of our devotional life cannot be done properly. What time to sleep, what time to eat, what time to get up, whom to associate, how, in what position, we are all supposed to be in when we are chanting. What are we supposed to do? What are we not supposed to do? Even for a basic thing. Chanting is for our own personal purification. And Sankirtan is Yoga Dharma. For our own purification itself, it's a lifestyle. So even for chanting, we need a lifestyle. What to speak of we being a soldier in the Sankirtan mission? We definitely need to have not just my lifestyle, a community with, it's a herd mentality with all the people in the community having similar lifestyle. Then only we can transform people's lives and win them to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. I repeat, just for our own individual practicing, for my being situated in proper Krishna consciousness, I need chanting. Chanting is my primary aspect of my sadhana. And for that itself, I need to adopt a proper lifestyle. I cannot sleep the way I want. I cannot get up the way I want. I cannot do anything I want. Then what gets affected is our chanting. If our chanting gets affected, what leaves us in our Krishna consciousness is nothing. Then what are we even doing for? I mean, all our Bhakti Shastri, all our courses, all our discussions are just some sort of a, burden in the system. It's just a, crown that we have worn, which is, making us more and more proud. So from that perspective, Krishna consciousness lifestyle for us to, be a powerful soldier, useful soldier in the Sankirtan mission, we need to have a lifestyle. And that lifestyle involves 6 aspects. First aspect is to stay away from nonsense. Because if I have to be in the correct path, I need to make conscious endeavor to stay away from nonsense. In Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, when Krishna was explaining about Maya, the very next shloka is Krishna is talking about 4 types of dushkritina before even explaining about sukritinas. So it is important, whilst we are taking our own time to learn Krishna consciousness aspects and apply Krishna consciousness in our life, we need to at least have a primary understanding of what I am not supposed to be, what are all the nonsense that are I'm supposed to be avoiding. So the lifestyle, there are 6 aspects of lifestyle that I want to mention, which we need to adopt for us to be a proper sadhaka, as well as we build a community with a proper lifestyle amongst the community members, so that we all help each other and collectively we win ourselves as well as many other people to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So number 1, that we have to stay away from nonsense. Sometimes we may think that no nonsense in life means where everything is great. No nonsense is only part of the things done. So for sure, it is important. That's why that's listed as the first thing. Stay away from nonsense. And number 2, one need to have a very good discipline and a routine, consistent discipline. Not discipline once in a while, not discipline when we are in Dham, not discipline whenever we are, wherever we are. A consistent, a disciplined lifestyle, a routine. Third, we need to have a courage as well as commitment to associate with like-minded people, like-minded friends and family with whom we have to have our exchanges. So basically, for me to create a lifestyle, I stay away from nonsense. I build a consistent routine. I have like-minded friends with whom I can kind of have my exchanges. And number 4, cooperatively perform services with that person. And 5th is create role model, look up to a role model. And last but not least, that we will never do anything independent of ourselves. We will always work under the authority of the parampara. So these 6 aspects will actually create a very good boundary for forming a lifestyle. I will tell you where I am coming to. There are several people outside of ISKCON. They talk about chastity. They talk about wonderful things in life. They talk about dharmic way of life. But it is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. A chaste woman is so powerful that her presence in an assembly can bring in warmth in winter and coolness in summer. A chaste woman is able to influence the way the material nature is behaving. This is Prabhupada saying, the chaste woman has got the power to influence the way the material nature is behaving. And the example is Rukmani Devi. Refer Srimad Bhagavatam 10.53.45 through 49. Here Lakshmi Priya Mataji's chastity is glorified. Brahma wants to take birth. Lord Shiva wants to come here. All the demigods wants to personally come to Navadvip Dham, become beggars, so that they can take the association, witness the lifestyle, glorify Mother Lakshmi Priya's chastity, appreciate the relationship that she is having with her family members and enjoy them. Why? Because one chaste woman is enough for winning everyone's heart, transforming people's life. In Tamil, there is a saying, Vijalukku iraitha neer vaikal valiyodi pullukkum aange posiyumam tollulagil nallar oruvar ularel avar poruttu ellorukkum peyyum malai. Since we have a couple of Tamil people, I just narrated this. The meaning of this is, Even if there is only one good person, one chaste person, one honest person, one clean person, just because of that person, the whole world can be delivered. Brahmanda tarite shakti tare jane jane ye veda purane gunagaye jeva sune. So it is extremely important to note that just by we building an individual building, that's why Vrindavan Das Thakura is saying that so many demigods wants to come here. They want to take birth in Navadvip Dham. They want to beg alms, come to their house, honor prasadam. Why? Because Lakshmi Priya Devi is performing a very wonderful service. Look at the way she has kept the kitchen. Look at the way she has kept the altar. Look at the way she has decorated the house. From the time of, drawing the rangoli in front of the house to create the rangoli in front of the Lord, even to the details, all this information are not just some pass-by information. When we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam or Caitanya Bhagavata, when we read such things, so, okay, and they all had a grahastha life. I mean, generally for all our intelligent people, what we will read? Okay, fine. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a very good grahastha life. Aage bolo. Tell further. But it's not that. When Vrindavan Das Thakura is stating this, he is explaining where does dharma reside, where does culture reside, how does culture need to be inculcated, how it needs to be practiced in one's life, in which all aspects is need to be reflected. And one such aspect is what this particular context that we are in. Atiti Deva, Atiti Devo Bhava, and how the leading lady of the house need to look after her functions. So the first reflection is about lifestyle. There is a very interesting point that I came across about chastity. We are not someone who is just trying to, talk about chastity independent of Krishna consciousness. There are so many characters whose chastity were glorified. I'll tell you two of them. Gandhari. Gandhari was glorified as a very chaste lady, but unfortunately she was not Krishna conscious. So we are not interested in just chastity. We are interested in Krishna consciousness. We are interested in becoming a soldier in the service of Krishna. We are interested in winning more and more souls, including ourselves, to the lotus feet of the Lord. And chastity is a component needed. Unfortunately, if it is not properly presented, then people think that feminism, masculinism and so many things. It is all simple humility, tolerance type. Chastity is one of the qualities that we need to inculcate it, both for men and women. So chastity without Krishna consciousness is actually mundane. An example is Gandhari was a chaste lady, but when she heard that Duryodhana is in trouble, or Duryodhana was tricked by Krishna, she cursed Krishna to death. She cursed the Yadavas to death. Look at Ravana. Ravana was a great, emperor. It is said that he performed Brahmacharya Vrata for 12,000 years. 12,000 years he controlled his urges. But all these urges, all this control was not centered around Lord. So he landed up in doing such a heinous act. What happened is Brahmacharya Vrata. So it is better to be a devotee wife for 5 men like Draupadi and be called a chaste lady rather than being non-Krishna conscious person and calling oneself being chaste as Gandhari. So my point, I want to conclude my first reflection by saying Krishna consciousness is not part of our life. Krishna consciousness is a way of life. And the Krishna conscious way of life, for that lifestyle, we listed 6 principles. There could be 60, but I thought of listing the first top six principles that I could think of. Maybe you all can add more. Which is number 1, stay away from nonsense. Number 2, have a consistent, disciplined routine. And number 3, please associate with like-minded, supportive, devotee friends. Number 4, together cooperatively perform service so that we can inspire each other. Number 5, try to become a role model, look up to a role model in the ecosystem. And number 6, always work under the authority of the parampara and not try to work independently. When we have these 6 principles along with all the other values, then our lifestyle is set. Rajar doshe, rajya nashta, ginni doshe, grihastha nashta. Srila Prabhupada says that if the king whose character is, he become characterless, or if the leading lady of the house, if she is characterless, then both are going to create trouble for the society. So here Lakshmi Priya Mata, she has presented her, very good nature, very wonderful gesture, very wonderful mood, very wonderful example that she had set of welcoming, serving, being humble and clean, and always remain chaste to her duties. And in spite of she being the goddess of fortune, the concert supreme personality of Godhead, between her and Krishna, there is no difference. In spite of her being in such a, being such a person, she is trying to play the role according to the Leela so that we all can learn, we all can, imbibe certain lessons in our daily lives. So this is my first reflection. Second reflection is the continuation of this. It is about some set of 4 principles. First principle is, it's a set of, a sequence, a set of sequential evolution of consciousness. When we build service attitude within ourselves, because generally for us to get service attitude is very difficult. Service attitude, sometimes we may do it verbally, sometimes we may do it for showing off, but to have a service attitude in the real sense with all humility and tolerance, it is very rare scene. And one of the reasons why service attitude is not visible is because of whom we associate and what is our thoughts and actions are. So Shankaracharya is saying, Satsangatve nitsangatvam, nitsangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischaladatvam, nischaladatve jivan muktihi. He says, through the company of good, satsanga, good association, we are free from attachment. When we are free from attachment, we are free from delusion. When we are free from delusion, we are free from chanchala, anxiety. And when we are free from all these 3 things, no attachment, no delusion, and no chanchala, no blabbering and anxiety, then we are eligible. We are already considered liberated, or we are eligible for liberation. The reason I am saying is, as a second reflection, is when we inculcate service attitude, we will naturally develop attraction for becoming a soldier in the Sankirtan mission. Because inculcating service attitude itself is an agenda, which is what we concluded. By our lifestyle, we will develop service attitude. With that service attitude, we will be able to develop natural attraction towards the Supreme Lord and being part of the Sankirtan mission. Being a soldier in the army of Harinam Sankirtan. Considering Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Yajna as our life's goal, we will develop that natural attraction, because Prabhupada says that it is not foreign to us. We have been, serving the Lord. It is very natural. Even a dog can take part. Even a child can take part. It is not foreign to us. Somehow or other, we are clogged. So when we participate in the natural service, when we participate in the service of the Supreme Lord in proper consciousness, we will develop natural attraction. And what happens when we have service attitude and we are naturally attracted towards the process of Krishna consciousness? We will be able to tolerate all our agitations. Because today, a person is not able to practice decent Krishna conscious lifestyle. Let us talk about even devotees. We are not able to practice proper lifestyle is because of the agitations. We have so many agitations, so many urges. Maybe external ones we may have, won over, but we have so many internal urges. Maybe we are following 4 regulative principles, but there are so many derivatives of these 4 regulative principles and those urges. We have not had won over them. So, we naturally attracted towards this process. When we have natural thinking about this process, day in, day out, my consciousness is constantly, roaming around these thoughts. How am I going to serve Krishna? How am I going to preach? How am I going to chant? How am I going to read? How am I going to apply Krishna consciousness? How am I going to, look after my Guru Maharaj's instructions? So when I'm constantly thinking about it, naturally affectionate, attached towards that, my other agitations are taken care. I am able to tolerate those agitations. Agitations of my mind, agitations of my senses, agitations of my intelligence, agitations of my external resources. And the 4th outcome is, if I am able to somehow or other tolerate my agitations, then my anarthas are naturally neutralized. So what I want to say is, if I have a proper Krishna conscious lifestyle with chastity, the natural outcome is Sanatana. How Sanatana? Service attitude, natural attraction, tolerate agitations, neutralize anartha. Sanatana. So when I have a proper Krishna conscious lifestyle, when I have proper Krishna consciousness mindset, when I have proper Krishna conscious ecosystem, then naturally I am becoming Sanatana. Sanatana means I am free from agitations, free from anarthas, definitely having natural attraction, affinity towards the process of Krishna consciousness. I am always ready to serve. Here Lakshmi Priya Devi, she is not having extra pressure, extra tension, extra endeavor she doesn't need to put. It is natural to her. For us to perform such a service, we can do once in a year, once in 6 months, maybe once in 3 months. If you have to do every day, it is not easy for us. That is why anytime when we have any aspirations, oh Prabhu, I would like to serve you. We may say for the rest of my life, I would like to serve you. We'll serve him for 7 days and see. Will we be able to be consistent? Probably not. Because we are still externally, we may be clear, but still internally, lot more things have to be sorted out within ourselves. That is why a lifestyle change is required. So the chastity aspect that Lakshmi Priya is glorified here is not because just because she's just a chaste lady. It's because she has a wonderful lifestyle, respect, cleanliness, humility, service attitude. You can go on listing several things. So from that perspective, it's utmost important for us as practitioners to not limit our Krishna consciousness learning at superficial level at all. We have to have Krishna conscious learning at our action level. Srila Prabhupada explains, Anukulyena Krishnanusilanam means cultivation. Consciousness alone won't help. Now comes the third aspect, the third reflection. When I am having the right lifestyle and chaste mindset, I definitely become Sanatana, which means I will have proper service attitude. I'll be having natural attraction towards the Supreme Lord and the process. I will definitely be able to tolerate my agitations, and I would have neutralized my anarthas, or at least I will be the process of neutralizing the anarthas. And the last aspect, or the third aspect, is good fortune will be definitely coming our way. Good fortune is not something that we can earn. They are bestowed upon us. Good fortune is not something that one can just, it's not a mechanical process. Probably endeavor could be something that we can done from our end, but the blessings, the mercy has to be delivered to us, and the mercy is delivered to us by the Supreme Lord. When good fortune arises, when good fortune comes your way, when good fortune is knocking at our door, we better be prepared, ready to accept them. Otherwise, right around us, in front of us, in our lives, so many good fortune things are happening. Are we able to grab it? Are we able to become the recipient of it? We may even be able to witness it. But are we able to be participating in this? Am I a participant in the list? Probably it's a big question mark. So hence, the third aspect that I want to speak about is about the good fortune that we will receive or we should be looking forward for. Because if good fortune is misused, good fortune is missed, then what a big loss. For example, if Mrigari did not acknowledge Narada Muni, what would have happened to Mrigari's life? If Srila Prabhupada's students did not take advantage, because there is some contribution from the followers of Srila Prabhupada. It's not only Srila Prabhupada's mercy, they all followed. In fact, many times I have shared this. The earlier students did not even understood what Srila Prabhupada spoke in terms of philosophy. But they loved Prabhupada. They liked Prabhupada. They served Prabhupada. And eventually their progress in Krishna consciousness, their lifestyles changed. Prabhupada changed their lifestyle, their routine, their thinking, their association, their priorities, their decision-taking process. So hence, when good fortune is going to knock at our doors, we better be awake because good fortune will knock. Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mission means somebody will come and knock at your door. This is how Caitanya Mahaprabhu's preaching strategy is. When right from the time he was there, what did he do? He formed different preaching parties. He clubbed Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. He clubbed two men, sent them to different places, different houses. And what they did? They went and knocked at everyone's doors. Say, hey, good fortune is here, good fortune for you. And as we practitioners, when we are hearing about such good fortune, we should also be the recipient of them. For us to be recipient of them, we better know them and prepare ourselves. 1 and 2 are preparation, and third is a natural result of good fortune bestowed. That is why Rupa Goswami says good fortune is bestowed in 2 channels. One is through Agyata Sukriti, Second is through streamlined process, sadhana, vaita sadhana, bhakti, raganuga bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. Ajnata Sukriti, anyway, there is one channel stream. But for us to, be a regular student, we need to work through this process. And at every stage, we have some good fortune. At every stage, we have some mercy component. At every stage, we have some, divine arrangement, divine intervention. So my third reflection and the last one for this current context is about how when so many demigods, they came down searching for some good fortune. Prabhupada writes here, Vrindavan Das Thakur writes here in the previous shloka 35 to 37. Although demigods headed by Brahma are equal to the Lord's limbs and minor limbs and are very dear servants, the distinguishing feature of the causeless mercy of the most compassionate Gaura Sundara is that in order to deliver the living entities of this age of Kali, he distributes to everyone the Lord's prasada, which is rarely obtained by even the best of demigods and highest authorities like Lord Brahma, without considering whether one is qualified or not. So to grab that good fortune, they decided, in spite of giving up their position, whether I am Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Devata, whatever that I will come and beg alms. Because here, without looking at any quality, the blessings are distributed. Nityananda Prabhu has opened up a marketplace. He says, Jati Dana Vidya Bala Nakore Apeksha. Boro Shuker Kaborgai, Boro Shuker Kaborgai. Come and take. Surabhi Kunje Te Namer Hatkuleche. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says what? What is that you require in this place? Shraddha Mulya Suddhanam Sehate Te Bikai. Just because of our Shraddha, the holy name is being sold. And please get all your friends, relatives, contacts, everyone to this marketplace. Because if you bring them, give them good fortune, transform their lifestyle, make them Sanatana, what will happen? Dasturi loi bohami purnaha bekam. All your desires will be fulfilled and you will be given commission by Nityananda Prabhu. So it's a very wonderful packaging. It is not just an option of just like that, hither and thither, somebody has said something and gone. If you actually sincerely analyze them, if you connect all the dots together, they are so wonderfully connected. They are not just haphazardly done. They are very scientifically, systematically, organically arranged. So my third reflection is about when we perform our devotional service by the way of not just superficial, by transforming our lifestyle, by making sure that our service attitude is properly inculcated to an extent that it will eventually neutralize our anartha, then good fortune will be definitely bestowed upon us. To Kolavecha Sridhara, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, please ask me, my dear Sridhara, what do you want? Kolavecha Sridhar said, my dear Mahaprabhu, I do not want anything. Mahaprabhu said, no, please, you have to ask something from me. Sridhara says, Mahaprabhu, I don't need anything. Mahaprabhu is really almost chastising and said, you should take something from me. And what is Mahaprabhu saying? Kolavecha Sridhara saying, may I get this opportunity of giving you kela, giving you bananas every day before I go out for sales for the rest of my life and all the other lifetimes that I'm going to take. Just give me the opportunity to serve you unconditionally. And Mahaprabhu is giving a tight hug to Kolavecha Sridhara and says, from today onwards, I am yours. I am yours, which means you won over me. I am your servant. I am going to be with you. I am going to dance to your tunes. Why? Lifestyle. Sudama Vipra, lifestyle. So the point is that Ishvara Puri with Madhavendra Puri. Look at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became, a disciple of Ishvara Puri because Ishvara Puri did that service to Madhavendra Puri. When Madhavendra Puri was a very old, in his old age, he did all the menial services. So the qualities that are required or that will generally needed for us to recognize the good fortune coming our way is how eager are we? Okay, I am practicing my lifestyle as recommended. I am trying to transform my action into a consistent and a way of life. And naturally, some blessings will come my way. So let me develop that eagerness to receive the Lord's mercy. That eagerness is shown in the way I try to express my service to all the members. So Lakshmi Priya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, so many wonderful personalities. Look at their eagerness to serve others. Because they say by serving them, by welcoming them, by looking after them, I am pleasing them. So the sloka about Rangoli, the painting that Lakshmi Priya drew, or the household chores that she did, the mopping and cleaning that she did, keeping the DD room clean, making sure that she cooks alone, she made a lot of other preparations. They are details, but underlying the details is about the attitude that is expected of us. The menial attitude, the eagerness to serve the Lord, that attitude. And this good fortune is delivered at our doorsteps. That is why Prabhupada says the success of our Krishna consciousness is in behaving in such a manner. The spiritual master turns towards the disciple and acknowledges his activities. And Lakshmi Priya did receive that acknowledgement from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back, by the time he came back, Lakshmi Priya was already gone because she was constantly missing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but constantly serving him and serving her duties. So she became the recipient of Mahaprabhu's mercy. So this whole subject of Lakshmi Priya performing the menial service, Lakshmi Priya performing the household chores, Lakshmi Priya performing the duties of a wife is not foreign to the Vedic traditional system. Vedic traditional system was functioning like that. Unfortunately, the modern science have introduced the word called independence. The Vedic science is always talking about interdependence. Modern science constantly talk about how I'm supposed to be independent, how I'm supposed to be free, how I'm supposed to be not burdened. So when we have good fortune knocking at our doors, nothing will burden us. Nothing will look to have it independent of Krishna, independent of Krishna's devotees. Nothing we want to do it for our credit. We give all the credit to the Supreme Lord. To summarize our conversation today, in the little context that I was given, it is extremely important to note that Krishna consciousness is not just a part of life. Krishna consciousness is a way of life. And for us to inculcate that lifestyle, we need to work, we need to organize our activities, our routine, our priorities in such a manner that we practice a Krishna conscious lifestyle, Krishna conscious way of life. So we discussed about 6 points in that context, wherein we said number 1, stay away from nonsense, which means every part of nonsense. Nonsense meaning staying away from asat sanga, staying away from those choices, those decisions, those activities, those priorities which are going to take us away from Krishna. So technically, staying away, we have to identify what are all dushkritina, what are all useless, what are all that are going to take us away from Krishna. We have to stay away from them. Even though to stay towards positiveness will take some time. You have to take conscious efforts. Number 2, consistent, disciplined routine. Number 3, have like-minded association. Number 4, cooperatively working in that like-minded association. Number 5, becoming a role model to our other community members and looking up to a role model and try to align ourselves. And number 6, always work under the authority of the parampara and our seniors, not trying to act whimsically independently. By these 6 items, we will definitely create a very good lifestyle. And with that lifestyle, when we add our chastity, our honesty, our sincerity in Krishna consciousness, then our basic existence become complete to be called as a sincere soldier. Independent honesty, independent chastity, independent of Krishna consciousness is meaningless. So with that lifestyle, we will be able to transform our consciousness and we will be able to free ourselves from all the anarthas. Because with that lifestyle, our service attitude will be intense. With a proper service attitude, we will be able to definitely have natural attraction for this process. And because of this service attitude and natural attraction, we will be able to tolerate agitations, which are generally bothering one. And with that, we will be able to neutralize our anarthas. When we do these 2 things, naturally good fortune will knock at our doors. Good fortune will come our way. And when good fortune coming our way, we better grab it, avail it, distribute it to everyone. And that is a duty of a sadhaka, that is a duty of a soldier, that is a duty of a student, that is a duty of a disciple. As Mrigari, as Vibhishana, as so many other personalities have received as disciples of Srila Prabhupada, as Srila Prabhupada himself. So when good fortune is going to come our way, good fortune, many times when there are examples where people have missed good fortune. Not only there are people who have used good fortune, there are people who have missed good fortune. When they miss good fortune, then what happened? Ravana missed the good fortune because he had an offer from Ramachandra Prabhu. He missed that good fortune. There are people who misses good fortune, and what will happen? They will only simply blabber, simply cry and weep, saying, "Oh my God, I lost chance." Nalakura and Manigriva, they could have learned easily from Narada Muni, but they missed it. They misused their position as Kubera's children. But of course, eventually they got blessed. But in the first place, they missed. So in our case also, we have a lot of opportunities where we can grab it right now. Subhasha Shigram. If we miss it, we will be considered very unfortunate. These demigods are showing by their example that they do not want to miss it. They want to just come and grab it because good fortune is free flowing now, and by grabbing to that, we will make this human form of life a meaningful and useful one. I would like to stop here. Shri Caitanya Bhagavata Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Are there any questions or comments we can discuss?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for wonderful class. Kitida Mataji is having raised hand. Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the brilliant session. Always, I should say, so many learning lessons we get in your class, and I don't know how much, at least myself, is trying to imbibe, but for sure. One simple question, is it hot there, Prabhu? I know you are sweating, or is it some Ashta Satvika Vikar that is coming?
No, the point is my fan makes lots of noise and I did not want to have that noise. That's why I put it off. It is cold actually. I thought I will not sweat, but somehow this fan I should have turned on the fan. I'm okay, Mataji. Thank you for that.
Yes, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, I have a question when you were telling about that our lifestyle, which I 100% agree that maybe our lifestyle is definitely not okay, because of which, something that comes up becomes a burden on us. Like you said, that we can do something once in 6 months, once in 3 months, but when it comes every day, it becomes a burden. But isn't it, Prabhuji, that sometimes this anxiety of doing something is necessary? Like suppose if I have to give a class, or if I have to do some dressing service, maybe it can come more often, but there is a natural anxiety that develops, so isn't it that good, or it is also a kind of anartha which is not coming from my lifestyle?
No, anxiety for performing good service is definitely a good one, so long as the anxiety is associated with the outcome, desired outcome, not with respect to the credit or debit that I will have. So what people will think about me if this is not going to go right. So hence, let me be anxious to do it correct. Then it is the mode of passion. Anxious to make sure that the service should be done very nicely, so that Srimati Radharani should have a wonderful, delicious cuisine. Sri Krishna should look beautiful. So Vaishnava should be enjoying the, prasadam. That anxiety is considered as anxiety in the mode of goodness. Typically, actually speaking, anxiety in mode of goodness means we are restless in our services to make sure the service happens for the Krishna's and Vaishnava's pleasure. I was told that in spiritual world, even though there are no dirt, people, the gopis and servants, they still sweep the floor, mop the floor, clean the floor, because they are anxious that the place that Krishna is going to come, Krishna is going to perform Leela, is supposed to be clean. So anxiety, Prabhupada says in one place where he says that my Guru Maharaj used to always put us in anxiety for serving Krishna. He would never give anything freely. So that type of anxiety is considered glorious, not the anxiety associated with the outcome and what we will be, deriving out of that. That kind of anxiety is not so good. And sorry,
Prabhu, go ahead.
So when we're talking about the lifestyle, most of us, I mean, at least as students of Srimad Bhagavatam, I have seen many places where theoretically we are pakka, very clean, very clear. We may give, even proper class content, everything is okay. But when it comes to our practices and our lifestyle, we fail. When we fail there, we fail in our mission. When we fail in our mission, probably we have to classify ourselves as still juniors, not anywhere else better. So from that perspective, when we talk about such activities of Lakshmi Priya and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and so some great personalities, when we very closely look at them, it is their lifestyle, it is part of the inherent functioning, it is part of the inherent way they think, wish, feel, everything. So it becomes very natural for them. Why it is unnatural? Because we do once in a, I mean, I'll very honestly say, if I have to receive a Vaishnava guest in my house, first day I'll be excited, glorious, I'll be going and boasting off, saying that, there's a proper disciple came to my house and I fed him. Can I do that for the next 6 months with the same enthusiasm? If I do it, probably, there is something that I can, count upon. But third day, fourth day, I'll start thinking, Prabhuji, when is the next travel destination? Then I'm gone. Which means that my commitment is only superficial. So that is where I want to talk about lifestyle. Everybody is excited, everybody is enthusiastic, everybody will donate, fast, serve everything once in a day, once in a week, once in a month, but on a regular basis, our, it's a big question mark. That's where I spoke about this consistent lifestyle. Am I making sense?
Yes, 100%, Prabhu. 100% I agree to what all you said. So one last thing, that the anxiety you are saying, even though it's a spiritual anxiety, but it is regarded in one of the three modes, right? It is nothing beyond that.
No, it's not. As far as, I mean, there is anxiousness even in transcendental abode, but when we talk about in general service context, it is always mode of goodness. Yes.
Passion and ignorance. Okay. Wonderful, Prabhu. 100% agree what you said. So thank you so much once again. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams.
Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful answers for the questions. Thank you so much for Geetida Mataji for asking these questions. I really like the example of honoring a guest into our house. However big guest is, the enthusiasm is only for 3 days. Speaking to myself, 3 to 4, 1 week. After that, I'll get exhausted. I mean, I cannot, I'm sure that I cannot serve in the same way like I was serving for the first day. Maybe my body does not support. That's what I feel. I mean, I can't do so much of work. Rather, I feel that, what do you say? The love is there for that person. The respect is there, but then maybe my energy will go down. That's what I was feeling, Prabhuji, when you gave that example.
But we want Krishna to pour unlimited energy upon us. How much time we want Krishna to be attending to us? When we pray to Krishna, we want Krishna's immediate attention. We want Krishna to look after us, Krishna to fulfill our, prayers. So our expectation of Krishna's performance towards us is 100%, and our expectation towards Krishna is, we always say that, oh, please understand, Baba, I also have my own limitations. Please accept me with my limitations. Krishna do say, okay, I'm accepting with limitations, but at least show some sign of consistency. The whole aspect that we are trying to drive home here is, for a lifestyle, consistency is required. You may be consistency, not stagnancy. Because consistently we have to grow. Sometimes people may say that, I am very consistent. For the past 10 years, I am chanting 4 rounds. That is called stagnancy. We need to have consistency, means growing. Year on year, week on week, month on month, there should be growing some amount of love and care and surrender towards Krishna and Krishna consciousness process should increase. Please note, we cannot enter spiritual world till we are 100% free from, 70% according to Prabhupada's latest, whatever, promise, even if you are 70% Krishna conscious. The point is, somewhere we need to relinquish those baggages, unnecessary baggages, and we need to start becoming naturally attracted. Today, we don't have natural attraction. We are attracted because of some formality, because of some sort of social pressure, devotional pressure, community pressure. Sometimes some senior devotee will ask you, Mataji, will you please cook prasadam? I mean, probably you will be under such a quote unquote pressure. We'll have to say yes. So if I say no, that Prabhuji will think me bad, maybe he will not recommend me for my second initiation. So many thoughts will come up. But at the end of the day, those are all secondary. Can we perform Krishna consciousness activities with our own natural, affinity and natural surrender? For that, we need to really work through this. That's why I said, even for basic chanting, forget about all these conversations. Just for us to chant, we need to have a lifestyle. Otherwise, our chanting itself cannot be perfect. So that's where the whole sutra begins. So anyway, any other questions or comments?
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Preeti Vilasni Mataji is unable to unmute, but she's saying very beautiful class. And Amrita Radha Mataji is also saying wonderful class. Yasuka Sagari Mataji, please go ahead.
Hi Krishna Prabhuji, Danva Pranam. As always, like Mataji said, that you churn out a lot of, practical realizations from any class, Prabhu. Thank you so much for that. I just had one comment, if it's okay to make, like on what Vinita Mataji was just mentioning, like at least from a woman's point of view, like when guests are coming, I think she was asking from that perspective, that when guests come, we can serve for a few days, then it's natural, because we are in material bodies and we get tired. So I was thinking, this is just an example from my personal experience. So when my sister-in-law, she actually visits us, she immediately comes to the kitchen and starts helping. She's like, she takes over and does things. I think that's a wonderful thing. I always feel very comfortable when she comes home that way, and I was just wanting to share that maybe that could be a good way, and you enjoy each. She's also a devotee, so we enjoy each other's company, and we're cooking, and she's a wonderful cook too. So that could be a solution, Prabhu. I was just thinking.
Absolutely. That was my third point in my first reflection. The third point, my first reflection, I said about how we need to build a relationship with like-minded people and support each other. Why we needed a devotee community is because we cannot alone fight this battle of fighting against Maya and Duskritinas. So it is extremely important that we need to make good like-minded friends who share our concerns. Not that I make friends with some very, very senior or very, very junior, then I cannot gel there. I need to have some friends, like-minded people. Like you said, when I'm tired, she chips in or he chips in and help. So that way we complement each other and try to make some progress. Absolutely. No second thought. So that is why Prabhupada says we need to create communities. For us to create community means different set of people coming together, trying to align to a similar lifestyle. With that similar lifestyle, we will be all, normalized and with all similar, thought process. It is very, wonderful. Anyway,
Yes,
thank you.
it also reminded me, once Anuradha Mataji and I were discussing too, and she was mentioning it was her son's birthday. And so she said all the devotees, as soon as I said it's my son's birthday, they came forward, they organized, they planned everything. All I did was give the money, that's it, Lakshmi. And they cooked, each of them took over each dish, what they wanted to make. Somebody baked a cake. All I did was just go help and show up, and that's it. And I thought that's such a wonderful thing, like every community, if they have that, because especially in the US, because women have to manage so many things apart from work and kids, everything on their own. At least in India they get some house help and things like that. So it gets really tiring for a woman in that sense. So that's also something that just came up to my mind. It'll be nice to have such a community where they automatically, she said, like, as soon as I announced, all the Matajis were, I will make this, I'll make that. It's such a beautiful feeling, actually, I was thinking.
Joyfully performing. Otherwise, you'll be feeling like Krishna conscious. Oh my God, better I stay away from all these people. So joyfully performing. Anyway, thank you, ma'am. Any other thoughts, comments?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is there anybody having any more realization? Okay, if there are no more realizations or questions, we can end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances to Prabhuji and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Praise Ramgiridhari Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful session.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Everyone for joining today's class. We'll meet tomorrow. Hari Bol, closing the call.
Hare Krishna.